Okay, we move on to the Sunday Nighter. We are 31 minutes before kickoff. Thank you guys so much for joining us here. We have no show without these great cappers in the chat giving us all these insights and humor and just inspiring us. Let's go. Chiefs, Raiders. This is going to be so much fun as well. The 7.5s are gone. And if this game wasn't revolved around COVID, I would be on the Raiders plus 7.5. And I know that's a dangerous thing to do. The Chiefs off their bye week with revenge in mind. We know that the Raiders team bus supposedly did a victory lap around the stadium to upset Andy Reid. But I just think that the Raiders are a good football team. Now, the Chiefs are a great football team. And there's a big difference between good and great. But I think they can stay within a touchdown in this big game. The Chiefs have a bye. They've had a bye before playing the Raiders 4 times in 5 seasons. They've won all 4 of those games. 4 times the last 5 seasons. Reed is 18-3 in the regular season after a week off. But this offensive line is messed up. So we need a lot of information from the cappers in the chat and from Bebsy to hear if we get any last-minute COVID information. So this is where we stand. The offensive line for Kansas City is a mess. Mitchell Schwartz and Eric Fisher have joined Martinez Rankin on the COVID-19 list. Schwartz also has been out with a back injury, but there are 3 guys on the COVID-19 list. McCole Hardman, COVID-19 list, and we thought that would be balanced off with Sammy Watkins being back. Sammy Watkins is not coming back. Offensive tackle Mike Remmer is questionable. So, COVID issues for the Chiefs. COVID issues for the Raiders. Coming off dominant 37-12 win at home over the Broncos. They've gone back to this style where they're rushing for way more than they're passing in this 3-game winning streak. They're averaging 190.7 yards per game on the ground while only throwing for 138. They had that big Week 5 win over the Chiefs. Bebsy, the most interesting stat about that game was Carr had 219 yards passing on deep throws. That's 79 more than he's ever had in the history of his 7-year career. He was ultra aggressive, and it caught the Chiefs by surprise. Reed's not going to be caught by surprise this time around. The Raiders defense playing its best football. They're allowing 14.7 points per game and 68.1 passer rating. The past 3 weeks, they forced 5 turnovers against Denver, but this whole defense missed practice all week because of COVID-19. So Cleveland Farrell tested positive earlier in the week, so he joined linebacker Corey Littleton on the list. 8 other defensive players were placed on the COVID-19 high-risk list. That's starters LaMarcus Joyner, Malik Collins, Jonathan Abram, Jonathan Hankins. Those players could be back today, and I hope we know in the chat if they are. Defensive tackle Maurice Hurst, running back Jalen Richard listed as questionable. Bebsy, take it away. How much fun is this going to be, Chiefs Raiders?
I mean, this is going to be another great game. If Indy Green Bay doesn't end up being the game of the week, this will be. I mean, this divisional matchup. The fact that rightfully so, most people should be on the Chiefs this week. It makes sense. They're coming off the bye. But like you said, those COVID concerns on the offensive line, that's a real detractor for me. Like I wanna jump on this Chiefs team coming off the bye. I was sitting here all week looking at that line, not a ton of movement. But yeah, I just feel like it's gonna be a great game. Are there 7s on the board still?
Oh yeah. There's still probably 7.5. Let me grab it right now. Thank you for the kind words.
I want a 7. I see some people in the chat got a 6.5.
Oh, they're gone.
Yeah,
I believe. I'll double check. Thank you for the kind words, Jack Jordan, my man, and Mr. Fix saying a famous saying: "Bookies can't pay everyone," and we know that's the truth. Okay, Chiefs. Raiders, I won't even get into what I was just going to say, but yeah. Let's go. Chiefs, Raiders. Let's see what we can offer Bebsy here. I have the licensed books here on the odds page at odds.com, and the Sunday Nighter, there is 2 7s on the board. The rest are 7.5s.
I'm seeing here that 67% of the wagers are coming out in Kansas City right now.
Yeah, I just look. We need to get the information about what's going on with this Raiders defense, and so the last time I backed the Raiders, in a COVID type situation was when their offensive line was out for the week. And Birdie warned me about doing that. And that was against the Buccaneers. And I didn't heed his advice. And the Buccaneers destroyed a good offensive line that hadn't practiced all week. And now you have a defense that hasn't practiced all week.
Although I would argue that even if ever so slightly, the offensive line unit requires practicing with each other more than a defensive line unit does. I'm not saying that they both don't work together, but an offensive line, we all know how important cohesion is on an O-line. You can stick a new player onto a defensive line and he can go eat week one on that. You put a new player on an offensive line and there's so much more communication that happens on that offensive line. So understand what you're saying, agree with what you're saying. But that's my argument against betting on the Chiefs right now is if they don't know what's going on with their offensive line, then the bet, to me, screams Raiders.
Yeah. I hate dealing with these unknowns. Another thing we have is Andy Reid off the bye. So 2 giant notes. One is he wins. The other is the games go under. Games just go under.
Yeah. I don't know. This I want to jump on the Chiefs. I'm just not super confident about it.
Mr. Fix says Raiders and under. I want to get on the Raiders, but I'm not super confident on it. And I have a lot of interest in this under. Especially off that 40-32 barn burner. And we know what Reid does off the bye. And we know that the first thing he wants to do is take away your most dangerous weapon. What burned him was what Carr did. A thing he's never been able to replicate with the 219 yards and deep balls. David Sharp says if you want under, wait till game time. It will be driven up by the public. Rocky Manikeni, does Mahomes have all the weapons? No. But I have Sammy Watkins out. He's listed as out. So will that change because McCole Hardman's out? Because there's a question here from Damon saying, guys, Harden possibly active. I have him as out. Okay, so I'm going to wait.
Yeah, same here.
Breed Speed says from a Raiders fan, this is a revenge spot for the Chiefs. Oh, I agree.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's arguing that. I agree. This feels like an absolute revenge spot. But again, those question marks on your O-line, that's tough. Like all week not knowing who your starting O-line is going to be, that's a very difficult, even with the extra time to game plan.
Birdie talking about John Ryan's strategy, take half of your unit size and bet at pregame and save half for live action really makes sense here. Breed Speed says, from a Raiders fan, this is a revenge spot for the Chiefs. And so at this point, I expect the Chiefs. I'm going to get more information. I agree. I think this total will go up. I may move on the under and the Raiders. Bebsy, we'll talk throughout the day, and feel free to make this an addition. It's a Sunday nighter, so we'll talk throughout the day if you want to add it.